When I was in the 5th grade, my family moved to a small town where everyone knew each other but me. So I was the new kid, and I was made fun of for pretty much anything you can think of.
When I was growing up, I was in interracial relationships. And so I've dealt with teasing in that aspect. Not as much in my school. I got it a lot outside of school.
From a young age, I was always teased about my curly hair. And my mom always had it cut really short also. So I got teased for having curly hair and for looking like a boy. And also from the pitch of my voice, just being a high voice.
My friends would tease me all the time about my dad's work car. And it got to where it was just started getting a little embarrassing, and they'd say, "Oh, Denise has a horse." And they'd say that because a Pinto, that it would have a picture of a horse on it. And it would really upset me.
When I was in school, elementary mostly, we were very financially very poor. Parents were immigrants. We were farm workers. So a lot of hand-me-downs, worn out shoes.
When I was in junior high, that's probably when I dealt with the most teasing. And one of the things that kids in junior high liked to tease me about was my complexion. And, being someone who had a darker complexion, for a lot of students, that was considered a bad thing or a negative thing. And so they would make, insensitive comments, or they'd say really mean things. But it was something that I had no control over. It's not something that I could change about myself. So it was a hard thing to be teased about because I had no control.
I was really, 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 really skinny, go figure. And my arms and legs were really skinny. So the kids bullied me about looking like a toothpick. You look like a toothpick. If you fall, you're going to break your leg. My other thing in junior high was I had really bad acne. So I was like pizza face. So yeah. So what do you do when you have pizza face? You just put more makeup on, which makes it even worse.
Well, the main thing I was teased about was my maiden name, my last name, which was Boyle. Things like go boil yourself, you're a boiled egg, you're hard-boiled. It bothered me, but that wasn't the biggest thing that bothered me in school. I had a group of girls, mean girls as they say, that bullied a lot of other people in the class, and I saw it, and it caused me to retreat, to stay quiet and stay away, because I didn't want to be one of their victims. I didn't want them to pick on me.
I was very short, and I still am very short, but I was even shorter than my full height of 5 feet tall right now. And I was so small that they thought that I wasn't strong enough to play on some of the teams in PE. And so I remember I wanted to play kickball so bad because I was this little scruffy thing, and I wanted to get in there and fight and whatever. But there were these 2 big 8th grade girls, and they did not want me to play because they looked at me because of my height, and they said, she can't play. She can't play. And so I'd move to the front of the line, and they'd push me back. And finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I went to the coach, and I said, they won't let me play. Can I please just at least play once? He was like, yeah, put her in, put her in. And so we got back to the locker room, and unfortunately, those 2 big girls shoved me in a locker. We had tall lockers back then, and grew up in Houston. And I was just the right size to fit in a tall locker. They shoved me in a locker and locked it. And nobody stood up for me.
My teacher made the assigned seating where the 2 girls who bullied me the most sat on either side of me. And she told me I complained a lot, and she told me to ignore it. And finally, they took one of my textbooks back in the days when we had actual books, and they wrote in it, and they wrote things that were so ugly I can't repeat them. And I took it to my teacher, and my teacher told me that I was complaining too much.
It got so bad that when I was walking home from school, I used to think, I don't even want that car to be in the driveway. It got to where I didn't even want to look at it. And I would tell my parents about it, like so-and-so's giving me a really hard time about Dad's car. And my mom would just say, well, that's just a material thing. Don't worry about it. It's his work car.
For a while, it hurt my feelings, and because no one wants to be made fun of or teased. But I guess over time I just learned that this is who I am, and I learned to wear my hair the way I wanted to wear it that made me feel good. I can't change the way my voice sounds. but I really learned to just like myself for who I am and not worry about what others would say about me.
A lot of times I didn't even know that my clothes weren't name brands. I didn't know that my shoes weren't name brands. But it was my family who always said, you know what, let's, forget that. Forget if somebody, upset you. Let's just go play ball. Let's go climb a tree. We always did a lot of outdoor activities that just was so much fun, that just kept your mind occupied from what happened at school to home life. It was just, nice.
One of the things that really helped me was my family. And even though I didn't complain a lot to them about it, I had a lot of people in my family who were of a similar complexion or were maybe even darker than I was. And so I got to see how they handled it. And I think that helped me to overcome it, because no one in my family ever let it get them down. No one got sad or depressed about it. But I also got a lot of positive compliments about my complexion too. So I think hearing the positive along with the negative, it really kind of helped to combat some of the negative things that were coming from other children.
If I could go back to my junior high years, I certainly would have handled it way differently, because you don't have the confidence that you do as an adult. You don't have that confidence. So the way I overcame it was just in getting older. What would I say to somebody else? Speak up. And if the first person doesn't hear you, go to somebody else. I take it very seriously. Someone comes to me and says, Ms. Schwinn, so-and-so said this to me, so-and-so did this, someone took this. I'm like, have at it.
That motivates me now as a teacher, because I remember that pain. I remember what it felt like to just feel like you had no friends, to feel like everybody was out to get you, and to have nobody in the building who wanted to support you. So my students know that when they come to me, I listen.
When I think about my decision years ago to become a counselor, one of the things that was really important to me was being able to advocate for students who really needed help because they didn't have someone at home, who was advocating for them, or maybe they didn't feel like they had friends or teachers that could advocate for them.
I know what it's like, what it feels like to have concerns about the way you look and how you try to cover all your flaws up, and then to know that there's always something in each of us that we're good at, that we probably need to look more at our talents and what we can do than really at what we look like.
When I went into teaching, I wanted to make an impact academically, but I really wanted to help these kids through a difficult time in their life. Junior high, there's like a mix of emotions and just, things that you go through and the way that kids kind of interact with each other. And I wanted to be there for them to help them through that process.
I think as I matured and I grew, I learned there's so many special things about me that don't relate to my height. And everybody's got a gift. Everybody has something special about them that makes them glow, makes them strong. And I think about that kind of as I work with kids too.
I have always been very passionate about being someone who students want to talk to and being a safe place for them. And I want them to feel safe and good no matter what they have going on in their lives, no matter what they look like or what they think others are saying or, posting about them. Many conversations that I have with students seem to end in a conversation about loving yourself or having strength within you to overcome negativity that's coming from the outside.
I'm listening. Come see me.
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 Come see me. I'm listening.
I'm listening. Come see me.